It began as usual with a charged session in the National Assembly of South Africa replete with argument, heckling and political posturing. Then out of the blue, a bombshell exploded that caught MPs gasping, yelling and fighting to get order. Democratic Alliance big gun Lenzo, a firebrand given to vivid rhetoric and unflinching political tactics, was speaking before Parliament when she slammed a fat pile of documents on her desk. But it wasn't paper. It was proof, documents, and leaked WhatsApp messages purporting to show entrenched corruption directly connected to President Sir Ramaphosa and his inner circle. In one instant, Parliament descended into pandemonium. Some members were in shock. Others yelled at the top of their lungs, calling for an immediate investigation. The Speaker's gavel banged ineffectually as Zille read out passages that would leave the whole nation aghast. According to Zille, the files contained top-level communications between Ramaphosa and several unnamed business tycoons, foreign investors, and internal government officials. These messages, most of which were said to have been retrieved from encrypted messaging conversations and deleted databases, outlined discussions regarding the distribution of government tenders, secret meetings and even coded language that referred to humongous offshore financial transactions. A single WhatsApp message read out by Zille was said to have quoted an officer as saying "the president will sign if the party gets its share." Gas circled the chamber as the words rang out. For an instant there was stunned silence in the room. Then the chaos continued with MPs yelling across the floor. Zille continued stating that the documents were given to her by whistleblowers inside the ANC itself, individuals who could no longer keep quiet. She stated "This is no longer about politics. This is about protecting our country from a cancer that is eating it alive from the top." Not surprisingly, the response from Ramaphosa supporters was swift and hot-headed. ANC stalwarts leapt to their feet, calling out points of order and decrying the charges as slanderous, spurious, and politicized. A minister slammed his desk over and over, screaming that Zille was an insult to democracy. But amidst the tumult, one thing was certain. A line had been crossed and South African politics would never again be quite the same. In hours, the presidency came out with a firm denial, labeling the documents malicious forgeries and blaming Zille and the DA for a joint effort to destabilize the government prior to the elections. But their reticence to indicate the source of the leaks and the authenticity of the WhatsApp messages only served to ask more questions than answers. Arguably the most sinister aspect of the scandal is the enigma surrounding its source. Zille would not disclose who supplied the documents, merely that they were from deep within the structures of government. That one line sent shivers through the ANC, suggesting the underground possibility of a mole near the top of government. Speculation ran rampant at once. Some said this was the leading to an insider political coup, but others said that angry ANC members dissatisfied with Ramaphosa's leadership were turning against him from the inside. Whoever was responsible, the fact that these documents were being read in Parliament lent them tremendous gravitas in the public's perception. The scandal also hit at the very center of Ramaphosa's brand. He had constructed his reputation as the reformer, the one who would tidy up the wreckage of his predecessor. His appeal of rejuvenation, openness, and healing had propelled him to office. But this event had the potential to disintegrate it all. Should any part of the evidence brought by Zille hold up, the ramifications could be disastrous, not just for Ramaphosa, but for the ANC itself. Voter confidence already tenuous would be shattered. International investors, diplomatic partners, and civil society organizations are paying close attention. This is no longer about one man. It's about whether South Africa's institutions are robust enough to keep leaders in check or if political power continues to protect those at the top. Parliament is due to meet for an extraordinary session following several parties' calls for an emergency debate over the claims. Legal experts are already forecasting a constitutional confrontation that could ultimately make its way to the nation's Supreme Court. In the meantime, sources indicate Ramaphosa has summoned an emergency session with his senior advisors and lawyers. Behind closed doors, there is much whispering. Some see cabinet resignations on the horizon. Others foresee a grand reshuffle meant to reclaim public confidence. Either way, the presidency is on crisis management overdrive. But don't be fooled. The tempest has merely just erupted. This is a story still being written, one that has the potential to change the course of South African politics for years to come. Each twist, each revelation, each new piece of evidence will count. To South Africans observing from the sidelines, the scandal is shocking and intensely personal. It poses questions about the very survival of governance, accountability, and democracy in their nation. Is this the end of Sir Ramaphosa, or is it merely another political trick among a succession of tricks in South Africa's roller coaster politics? All across social media and in the public space, citizens are arguing intensely. Some praise Zille as a bold teller of truth who is not afraid to take on power directly. Others say she is engaging in political drama at the cost of national stability. Did she reveal corruption, or did she play a high-stakes game for political gain? The uncertainty has captured the country. Civil society organizations are demanding independent probes. Business people are concerned about the effect on already shaky investor confidence. Foreign observers are calling for restraint and openness. In the townships and cities, regular South Africans sit in front of their TVs hoping to find out whether this will result in accountability or another scandal covered up. Meanwhile, opposition parties smell blood. They are railing behind calls for investigations, urging parliamentary committees to call major witnesses and insisting that everything be released in documents. The ANC, by contrast, is rushing to present a united front while internally wondering just how serious the cracks in its foundations are. If President is any indicator, this scandal may persist for months, bleeding into election campaigns and altering the configuration of political power. But what makes this different is the magnitude and the audacity of evidence that has been uncovered. These are not rumors or innuendos. There are physical documents and communications read aloud in the country's highest court. The gravity of that moment cannot be overstated. Helen did not simply accuse the president of corruption. She compelled the entire nation to consider the possibility that its highest office can be tainted. Whether this leads to resignations, courtroom dramas, or political menations, South Africa has moved into unknown terrain.